What's up, guys? It's Benny. One of the most important books I ever read was The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump, written nearly 40 years ago, where President Trump talks about how he gets his real estate deals done, how he effectively gets everything that he wants in a deal. And it goes pretty simply like this. Trump just asks for things that seem crazy at the time. He asks for way more than he ever wants, and then he's willing to walk away or exact pain from people during the negotiation process, which ends up getting exactly what he wants in the end because it seems reasonable by the time President Trump just tells you what he wants. He never tells you what he wants up front, and that's exactly what this Greenland deal was. After all, ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has been practicing the same playbook for the better part of the last 50, 60 years. I mean, how long has this guy been in the public eye? President Trump, ladies and gentlemen, just staged the art of the deal on all of Europe, on the whole of a continent. Here we go. NATO responds as Trump hails Greenland deal covering entire Arctic region that involves small pockets of land for U.S. bases. So Donald Trump is actually getting sovereign territory in Greenland. He extracted sovereign territory from Greenland. This all happened dramatically at the NATO summit today. Let's go through the top line here from the New York Times, which broke the story. Trump-Greenland deal said to involve small pockets of land. President Trump said on social media he'd reached a framework of a deal for the future of Greenland and Danish territory. Here we go. President Trump said on Wednesday that he was calling off tariff threats in a tariff war with Europe that he'd issued an effort to secure the American ownership of Greenland, saying that he had reached a framework on an agreement with the NATO secretary. Writing on Truth Social, President Trump, yada, yada. And the announcement followed a NATO meeting on Wednesday where top military officials and the alliance's member states discussed a compromise which Denmark would give the United States sovereignty over pockets of Greenlandic land where the United States could build military bases, along with three senior officials said with the discussion. The officials spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive private matters. They said the idea was one Mr. Root, this is the head of NATO, had been pursuing. Two of the officials who attended the meeting compared the United Kingdom bases in Cyprus, which are regarded as British territory. The officials did not know if the idea was part of the framework announced by Mr. Trump. Trump did not immediately give any details of that framework, but said the United States would own Greenland, even when asked directly about the ownership by reporters in Davos. So let's go ahead and look for more details about what is happening inside of this deal, right? And again, this is just the art of the deal. Trump threatens the absolute worst outcome. The entire world panics. His team presents option number 2, which seems incredibly reasonable. To option number 1, it's the same playbook Trump has been using over and over. He did it. President Trump got us Greenland. U.S. will control pockets of Greenland. So it will be sovereign American territory, presumably used as military bases. By the way, we have the same arrangement kind of all over the world in various places that we administer. The U.S. will be involved in Greenland's mineral rights. This is, of course, substantial because there are like $50 trillion worth of minerals in Greenland. Greenland has estimated reserves of natural resources worth as much as $50 trillion. The U.S. Golden Dome system will be involved in Greenland when it is built. So they will be using it for missile interception, which is, of course, how any missile would hit America. Whether it's fired from Russia or from China or from Iran, a missile would have to travel over Greenland to hit America. This would be the natural pathway, and this would mean you can detect those missiles 30 minutes earlier and shoot them down. This will open the door to U.S.-backed infrastructure investment in Greenland. Well, that'll be good. The duration of the deal will have an indefinite time frame. This means that Trump will be securing land, minerals, and defense all in one deal from Greenland. Well, there you go. Pockets of land for the U.S. U.S. involved in Greenland's mineral rights. Indefinite time frame. Block Russian influence in Greenland. Use Golden Dome system. Open doors for U.S.-backed infrastructure investment. Trump got the deal. Done. Europe. Greenland is not for sale. Trump will pay you $700 billion. Europe. We don't need the U.S. Greenland is not for sale. NATO. If you try and take Greenland, you're kicked out of NATO. Trump. Okay, kick us out. And our 5% out of NATO. And the U.S. will take Greenland because your two sleds can't stop me. Europe and NATO. Greenland is not for sale, but the U.S. can use Greenland for whatever you need. Okay, we'll keep our money, use Greenland for the rest of the Arctic. Okay. Part of the deal. There you go. The United States will control parts of Greenland. There we go. Here's the scoop. Parts of Greenland by designating them as sovereign bases and territory in the proposed deal. The proposal mimicking Britain's agreement with Cyprus, American bases would be considered U.S. territory. It would allow the U.S. to perform military operations, intelligence, and training without seeking permission from Denmark. The framework is a creative workaround Trump's demand of full ownership of the entire island. So President Trump was giving an interview, and he was asked, how much of Greenland exactly will you own, and how long will you own it for? And President Trump said this, kind of remarkable.
Back a lot of some of the nervousness we had in the last couple of days. The tariffs are off. Nothing happens on February 1st.
No, we took that off because it looks like we have pretty much a concept of a deal.
A deal of ownership, a deal.
Well, it's a little bit complex, but we'll explain it down the line. But the Secretary General of NATO and I and some other people were talking, and it's the kind of a deal that I wanted to be able to
Where
make.
does Denmark, did they weigh in on what they want, what they would agree to?
Well, I assume they did because he very much represents, he's a strong leader. Mark, you know Mark, Rutte. And I assume he's been speaking to them, he's been speaking to all of them.
Are mineral rights involved? Is ownership involved? The Golden Dome,
I don't want to say yet, but
the Golden Dome was very compelling today when you talked about
yeah, the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in mineral rights, and so are we.
It's not specific enough to know at this point how long this lasts, whether it's
Forever.
It'll be forever. For Greenland at this point.
Forever.
That's staggering.
It's better than a 90
This is what, 2 hours after.
It's better than the Obama deal, the famous Iran nuclear deal.
Forever. Just forever. That's right. Under the Greenland deal, Denmark would give the United States sovereignty over Greenlandic land where the United States could build military bases, according to senior officials. Okay, so Trump did it. I mean, do you really want the whole island? I don't know, maybe. Will Trump acquire Greenland? Look at that. Skyrocketing up to 55%. Will the U.S. acquire part of Greenland in 2026? Madman completely did it and got everything that he wanted. And then who knows what's next? Man, incredible. Incredible. The art of the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe. That's a great deal. Because we are always making sure that you are up to date on the latest news. I mean, this news just broke. This article was just published. That's our deal. This is incredible. You're watching the master at work. You're watching Jordan in his prime. It's your boy Benny. See ya.